This is the Hobby King Radjet 800. It's 800 millimeter, a nice size that I love. Servos, brushless, details. Alright, let's get inside of here. That's what it looks like when you open the box. Get everything out. So that's everything in the box. You got your wings, your fuse, a little goodie bag with a, looks like you get an extra prop, even 2 props, a canopy, a spar. It's like an underbody for sliding, and 2 rudder type situations, verticals. Alright, let's see what the first step is. It's weird because I had the F16 from this company and it didn't come with any directions. This doesn't either. I suppose there's a scan on here somewhere that you scan to a direction sheet. Alright, step 1, screw the control horn to each aileron using a 2-pack of screws each horn only. So, okay, these are not on. They must be inside the little bag. It looks like you put 1 screw in each. Let's get this out. So, center ailerons, using your radio servo tester, connect push rod. So that's that. So, kind of that's what you got. But when you put the cap on the other side, you're gonna have the screws protruding out quite a bit. I guess I may cut those, but it's not very cool. But let's see. I'm gonna get the other one done. And so I touched only 2 screws thus far, but just to show you, all the screws are the exact same size. So it's not like some companies that want to give you a small one and a big one. No. Slide the carbon tube. Apply some slow setting CA to 1 wing root on the fuselage. Slide 1 wing onto the tube. Ensure that the tube stays central in the fuselage. Hold tightly in place until the glue sets. Alright, let's get set up. Alright, I test fitted, sliding both wings on. As you can see, there's a gap, and it's quite springy with that gap, so I'm gonna have to get one side, like they said, glued, and then get the other side and then hold it down to the dries. Let me get that in. Alright, so where I'm at right now in my flying stuff, I usually, to be honest with you, with a setup like this, I would probably just use hot glue. But the person that this is for, he's crazy about E6000, so I'm going to do that. Let me get set up for that. So I'm going to just get some of this glue on the tube like they said. I just turn it, you know, I've never even used this glue before, so I don't know the characteristics of it. And I'm gonna get me some paper towels because I know I'm gonna need that for sure. So I'm gonna just take my hand and spread it a little bit. Yeah. It's already kind of sticky. I'm gonna just go ahead and get this surface kind of with some glue on it. So these little boxes go straight into this interlocking into the fuselage. So I'll go ahead and get that. I don't know how much time you have with E6000, so I will not delay. I'm gonna go ahead and get this pushed in. Make sure I don't have any seepage, and I do have some. I'm gonna wipe it off with my finger. I'll hit it with this towel. Get it all off. The exterior, got a good joint there. Alright, so I'm gonna say let that dry for a bit. Alright, I got the both wings meshed together as well as they can. Still trying to keep a little tension on it, really. You can see a little glue peeking out right there. I'm gonna wipe that off. Sometimes a little seam like that of glue makes it stronger though. Alright. This glue tacks up pretty quickly. I pulled it apart to get a little glue in the joint in the front there, so it's starting to get tacky already, so I think I'm safe. I'm going to the next step. So the next step is to connect the servo leads, and oddly enough they mentioned to cover them with a white piece of tape, which of course it did not come with. So there's a nice little opening where you can see where they want the connector to go, so I'm going to just push that down as far as it'll go. Into the cavity to eat up as much of the wire. Then I'm going to take the excess wire and feed it into there also. This is a fairly tight fit. Yeah, and this one is tight already from being pushed down into the cavity. Do the same thing on the other side. After all my tucking, this could belly land pretty good without ever trying to snag this. But we may put a piece of tape on there because, you know, just to be for sure. The next step is going to go into the verticals. I was incorrect on the verticals. It goes into this skid plate. So basically they're telling you to use CA and glue it on. I'm going to keep continuing what I'm doing with this E6000. Just get this thing kind of plaster all up and place it on there. I don't need to have that on video, so it's a simple glue job. Alright, got a decent amount of glue all the way across that. I'm going to try to get it lined up so I don't have to move it too much once it's set. But I actually might slide it around a little bit just to smear the glue back and forth and get a good seating. Yeah, it doesn't line up perfectly with the outline that they have for you. In reference to that, as far as these holes go and the other cutouts, and it's split. As soon as I pushed it down, it split. That's weird. So I'm letting the underside, one side of that underbody dry. I'm gonna go ahead and connect these servos up. So the first one, I got it set in there. It's pretty much the right length. I didn't have to move with it. Odd thing about this though is that it didn't even come with like a little piece of rubber to go over the thing that they normally come with. So little differences about each person, each brand's kits, you know. I'm gonna go ahead and get these put on. I was about to just do this and then come back, but I'm gonna show you like my method. Like these can be very hard to get on, especially if you have a really tight fuel tubing, not necessarily a really big one that would probably work better. I'd stretch it out a little bit, and sometimes I pop it off like that. It didn't break, it just slides down and tapers off and flies off of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut me another one. And I know it didn't break because I do it all the time, and these are pretty tough actually, and just I always find them and then put them back on. Sorry, I'm gonna stretch that out a little bit, right? So once I get it stretched out a little bit, I'm gonna take the horn off that I'm satisfied where the horn is, and then I'm gonna stretch this out and hold. Oh, and I popped it off again. Much easier to do when you're not trying to show somebody, I can tell you that much. So I did one side, and I'll just get this one set up, put it on my needle nose, stretch it a little bit just to get it to start getting ready to just kind of watch, because it'll fly off of there because of the taper of the tool. So maybe put it flat on the table and stretch it, that way you get it stretchy first. Alright, I'm gonna set up my arm. Alright, I got the jet set up where it's coming back towards me so I can try to show this. So I'm gonna get the clevis on, and then I'm gonna spread the jaws out, and I'm gonna hold it with my finger like that, and I'm gonna slide it in there, until it's, I hope that's showing, until it's in between the jaws of the needle nose. Once I get it in there at any point, I just take my fingernail and slide it down until the needle nose slides out. And then once I get that point done, you'll have that. You'll have it on there. So then you can slide it all the way down if you want to. I wouldn't recommend going all the way down, because once you get it off this ledge right here, it's hard to get back on. So I'm going to check my measurement. And it looks like I need to come out a little bit. So anyway, once I get appropriate amount of turns, I'm going to go ahead and clip it on. Satisfied with my setting. I'll just slide it down, lock it in. I'm going to take and and it was correct on the first try, so they look pretty level. We could probably fine tune a little bit. We'll do that to feel. So the servo covers are like really thin, just like that underbody, and you gotta actually cut them out, which is unique to this bird. I think I've put together a lot at this point, and I've never had one that I had to do this. But I haven't built that many. I haven't assembled that many kits either. So I'll just get this cut out and then come back for the gluing. So put glue in the hole, put the verticals on, no big deal. Okay, fit propeller to props to shaft. Make sure it's facing the right way. The bird goes forward. The rounded edge of this prop, the leading edge is here, so that's correct. It's gonna push correctly. And don't hit your verticals while you're trying to put the prop on like I just did. I didn't hit them hard enough to do anything, but anyway, don't do what I did. Don't drop your prop nut while you're trying to get your prop adapter on all the way. And it doesn't slide on very far. Alright. Get my prop adapter again. Alright, I took it off, so verify again. This is my forward edge. I'm going to put that facing forward. And screw my prop nut on. Alright, I think that's the entire assembly. Oh, they got a canopy cover. So basically it's going to just be to glue this on top of here. I got the glue in there. It overhangs a little bit all the way around, so you can't see the white part, which wouldn't matter because it's a white bird. I'm just let this all sit now, dry. So that's the complete build on that, or assembly. I ended up putting the receiver as far forward as the wires would go from the ailerons and the speed control, and then you can lift the speed control, the battery connector out the way and get your battery in there. I did put a small piece of Velcro in there. The recommended battery is a 1300 to 16 max, so you can fit your battery about right there, and it's actually a kind of snug fit with the wires and such. But I don't have Velcro on this. Once you have Velcro, it's going to be quite a job to get out of there, I would imagine. I always hate that part. But even with this little bulkhead here is where I found love on CG. I'm going to go ahead and just get it plugged up. So I find that this kind of formation, getting these wires all tucked as low as they can, because there is this big hump at the bottom. Some people are going to cut this off, I'm sure. But that hump will keep you from getting, if you don't put Velcro on your battery, that hump will help you from getting terrible CG, because it might slide forward some, but not much because it's already there. So I'm gonna put my hands, see if I can demonstrate the CG for you. Let's see. Yeah, I'm slightly back. I mean, it's a thin line between tail and nose from where we are. So let's see if I can get that for you. So that's the CG mark, and I'm balancing it on 2 fingers, and it's quite buoyant. So yeah, so I think that'll fly pretty good where it is. This is where the CG ends up at. It's like 380 something, 383 millimeters, and that's at the front of this line, which when I'm balancing, I'm like right here on this little line, which is the wing section. So that's kind of right about where it needs to be. So if you have one finger slightly forward or back, you're gonna either be tail heavy or nose heavy. So yeah, see, barely any movement. And yeah, so we're gonna put it in the air and see what it do. It is connected, so I can check my surfaces. Right turn, left turn, up, down, everything's good. Whoa! And we got our fan. So that's about everything I gotta say about the putting it together. Now we're gonna just get a flight and show you how it looks scooting through the air. This did come out the box with like a crunched nose, because the whole fuselage is actually loose inside the box, which is kind of weird. It's not loose, there's some like paper lassos over the top of it, but it's loose in those, so it can't go left and right much, but it can definitely slide right onto the point. So I guess it's not that bad, and it is what it is. Just a mention, I would say. That's all I gotta say. We'll see you at the field.